Be very careful, guys. The liquidations are happening in both directions. We have long liquidations, shorts liquidations. Like you can see here, the last hour, the shorts are being wiped out. Ethereum, Bitcoin leading the wipeout liquidation chart. I'm ever so happy to see that XRP is nowhere near the top. Look how small XRP is. Still a liquidation event for XRP, but very, very little for two reasons. First of all, we have XRP being actually relatively stable in the midst of all of this, and there are several reasons for it, which I'm going to talk about in this video, and which I've already aforementioned in previous videos. There's also the fact that XRP people, especially around about now, are more diamond-handed than pretty much anybody else because of the expectations of the things that are about to happen. So hang in there if you're an XRP hodler. The time is coming. Yes, we're having some setbacks because of all these macro events and very sneaky market makers and exchanges. Now, over the weekend, we had some massive liquidations, man. 500 million Bitcoin liquidated in the last 24 hours, and the last 48 hours, it's something like 5 times that much, in the billions, wiped out, never to be returned. And these, of course, are leveraged trades that are, and of course, these were leveraged trades that were sitting in centralized exchanges. Now, somebody, a very clever analyst, said something interesting that I actually believe. They said the crypto market stays under pressure as top cap slips to sentiments drop, extreme fear, blah, blah. According to BitMine chairman Tom Lee, the downturn may be triggered by a major market maker facing a serious balance sheet gap, pushing prices lower to force liquidation. He warns this is not the moment to leverage. Risk of cascades high. Lee says the pain is short-term and doesn't change the long-term Ethereum and blockchain adoption cycle. He expects stability to return in 6 to 8 weeks. Now, 6 to 8 weeks is a little bit long from my point of view, but hey, you know, we're here to hodl and hope for the best. It's another 6 months of opportunity to buy in if you have that mindset. But for some people here, I think 6 months is a long time. Also, he's talking about Ethereum. So perhaps, yeah, for Ethereum and Bitcoin, 6 to 8 months might be the waiting time for them to get stability. I think the situation is a little bit different for XRP. This ZEC, for instance, I mean, came out of nowhere to take the number 4 spot. So lots of these new tokens, meme coins, liquidating a lot of people. A lot of these big founders of these crazy meme coins dumping on their user base and making a lot of money. There was quite a few of them last week as well that I saw, and it just made me chuckle. Unfortunately, people have lost millions of pounds, millions of dollars, millions of euros, and what have you. But not financial advice. Happy days ahead for XRP. Well, talking about happy days, today is a happy day for XRP. Yes, you guys are still asleep in the United States at the point of me recording this video. But today is the day when one of the bigger guys, Franklin Templeton, launches their ETF, the XRP Spot ETF. And this should be seeing a lot of inflows and should at least go to stabilize the price of XRP compared to the others, and should limit the liquidations in the whole sort of XRP chart, even though the big exchanges and market makers that are running out of money themselves are now looking for their clients' money by liquidating them and creating this false dumps. You know, when I said in like about 2 or 3 videos ago, when I saw that liquidation event, and I said, why are people this afraid? There actually isn't anything in particular that should cause this level of fear with cryptocurrencies. I know that the macro is garbage, like I keep saying, and I know that the establishment, Wall Street traders are selling off risky assets, but it shouldn't be this bad. So the market makers are using that environment of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, as they always do, to liquidate excessive longs. It's not even excessive longs that are being liquidated. Even moderate longs and shorts are being liquidated as the price is zigzagging past, you know, especially on weekends when, you know, the liquidity is a little bit thin and it's easier to go both directions really quickly, which is why over the weekend we saw a large amount of liquidations pretty much in both directions. So not financial advice, doing research, but if I were you, I'll stay away from that whole leveraging thing. Now, leveraging itself could be fun, especially if you're playing with amounts that you're not scared to lose, you know, gambling money, have that mindset that you're just having a little bit of fun. Same as going to a casino and betting on a dog or whatever, albeit a little bit more educated. But at the end of the day, there are powers at play that are beyond your control. You can't fight a market maker or whale that decides to wipe out your orders. They can see the orders, by the way, and they have the buying and selling power to make it happen. And, you know, they could tweak the market and manipulate, and you'd lose all your money. And once you've lost money in leverage, you've lost the money completely. It's not like hodling when the price goes up, your portfolio looks good. When the price goes down, your portfolio looks bad. But all you have to do is hodl. No need to pay any taxes or anything. By the way, when you lose money or make money leveraging, there is tax payable on that stuff. So be careful with that as well. Talking about taxes, I've actually just finished doing most of my taxes today. Extremely easy to do. I use my free software that I've always used for the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's called Coinly. I've got a link to it in the description. Not financial advice, your own research. Also be careful when you go looking for Coinly, because again, there's a lot of phishing and scamming happening right now in crypto. Anything to do with software, links, website, just be extra careful. Use official links only. I've left the official one in my description. Of course, it's an affiliate link, so that is what it is. But be very careful. I'll talk about that in a minute. But Franklin Templeton XRP ETF is set for a big debut. We saw the 250 million inflow on the first day of the Canary Capital One, and we're expecting an even bigger day for Franklin Templeton. So I'm excited to see what happens at the end of today, which would be bang in the afternoon for you guys. It's going to be exciting. Now, Uphold, the most bullish, should I call it, brokerage exchange when it comes to XRP, has issued a threat scam warning. Now, this same warning has been issued by Ripple officially, by David Schwartz, personally from his own capacity, and other people. Now, I've made a video about this before, and I can verify that the phishing scams have basically stepped up their games somewhat. Uphold Exchange issues a fresh scam warning to XRP and crypto holders. Ripple previously passed a similar warning to the crypto community. That's what I just said. So, digital assets platform Ripple partner Uphold has issued a scam warning to its users, which predominantly consists of XRP holders. Is that true? I can imagine that a lot of XRP holders use Uphold. I'm not sure if XRP holders form the majority of their user base, but I'm sure a lot of us do, even though my account has been cancelled. In a tweet, Uphold's head of research, Dr. Martin Heisberg, said the crypto exchange has been made aware of a phishing scam asking users to download a new desktop application. He noted that this is not a legitimate request from Uphold, urging users to be cautious of any such communications. The Uphold head of research warned users that in the event of receiving any suspicious emails or messages, they should never click on links or download attachments or report them, blah, 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 blah. 100%. And that's the actual tweet. I'll leave all these links in the description if you want to go check out the stuff yourself. Personally, I must be on some kind of special list or something, because I get hundreds of these emails per week. I get dozens a day asking me to download this. I definitely got this Uphold one. I got one for Coinbase. I got one for Bittrex that doesn't even function anymore. I got several for Flare, a lot of XRP based one, MetaMask. Basically, these emails look relatively legit, and they ask you to download something or other, get this airdrop or the other. But the one that seems to be catching a lot of people is to do with exchanges that would have an app on your phone. So for instance, Uphold, Coinbase, Crypto.com do have apps, but on your desktop, you go to the website and use your Safari browser or Chrome browser, what have you. So you would get an email asking you to download this new app. And because in people's minds, they use an app on their phones, it seems reasonable that they would download an app on their computer. And this email usually touts it as a better experience. They might even add the promise of an airdrop or what have you to that email. And it kind of entices people to click and download. Never, ever do that. Because in the process, what happens is it asks for their seed phrase and then they get hacked. Even if it doesn't ask for the seed phrase, installing something locally on your machine is basically the end of everything, because you can easily install a virus, some sort of Trojan horse, or a keylogger that records everything that you're typing. So they can hack not just your crypto, they can hack your bank, they can get the details on your computer, take over your computer, and God knows what else they can do. Okay, so be extremely careful with this stuff. Everyone is issuing warnings. It's very, very serious. I get them a lot because obviously they know for sure that I'm special interest because I am actually online talking about crypto and I have my email there publicly. So I get a lot of these emails. I've got a special eye for this stuff myself because I have a lot of experience with tech, even prior to crypto. So I know a lot about these phishing scams and a lot of stuff. So I can spot them miles away. And even if I'm not an expert, anyway, rule of thumb is I never click, never download anything whatsoever. I have a special machine that is not connected to anything. And on top of that machine, I fire up what is called a virtual machine. And that virtual machine is sitting in a decentralized zone in my network. It's some geeky stuff from back in the day when I used to do security, internet security and stuff like that. And I haven't actually fired it up in a while, but I use that computer to test the effect of some things sometimes. And I used to use it a lot when, those scams were really rampant back in the day. But what I do now is I just don't click on any of that stuff because, life's too short to mess around with viruses and scams. Plus, they've become so sophisticated now that, man, you've just got to be really, really careful. Anyway, don't lose your XRP. We're so close to the finish line now. Not financial advice, of course. Do your own research. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Peace.